you are thinking about buying a home of your very own anytime soon, here are some tips to be prepared. Darla real estate agent, servicing all of South Louisiana if you are a buyer. And if you're thinking about selling anytime soon, pretty much anywhere in Louisiana that I'm willing to drive to. Listen, as a buyer, here are some things that you can do to be prepared when the house that you feel like could work for you hits the market. Number one, keep in mind, there's a huge misconception amongst buyers that you need 20% down to buy a house. That is absolutely the furthest thing from the truth. In fact, if you are a first-time home buyer, the possibility exists that you can purchase a home with 0% down if you qualify. And lots of people, I would say, probably close to 75% of first-time home buyers that I deal with do qualify for 100% financing, which means you literally can buy a house with no money down. That's absolutely something. Before I got into real estate, I would have never imagined in a million years. Number two thing to keep in mind is that most of the time, your local bank is not the best place to get a mortgage. And look, again, before I got into real estate, I thought that, of course, you needed to go to your local bank and get pre-approved to buy a house. That is not true. So, as a buyer, if you are wanting to buy a home in the near future, the number one thing that you should do is align yourself with a real estate agent in your area who knows the market, who sells lots and lots and lots of homes, who represents buyers, and who is great at negotiating for you. All right? That is the smartest thing to do as a buyer. A huge waste of time would be to just start house hunting randomly and not knowing what the proper steps are. So number one, align yourself with a real estate agent in your area who is open to showing you homes, but before that is going to say, these are the things that you need to do to be prepared when the house hits the market that you're ready to buy. And the number one thing that real estate agents should say to you is, the very first thing you should do before you do any house hunting at all is get pre-approved. Why? Because you want to know how much the house price looks like in reference to your monthly note. So be thinking about, as a future home buyer, what monthly note do you feel comfortable paying, knowing that your note that you pay that every month is going to include three things, maybe four, but for sure three things: the price of the house, the taxes, the homeowner's insurance, and if it's in a zone that requires flood insurance, also your flood insurance, right? So at least three things are going to be rolled into that monthly note, possibly four if you're looking for a home inside a flood zone. And then knowing what that number is per month that you feel comfortable paying. Then the realtor that you choose should be able to say, listen, these are some great mortgage brokers who can pre-approve you based on how much you want to spend per month. So whatever that number is per month, you're going to tell that mortgage broker, that lender, some people call them lenders, how much you want to spend per month. And what you're going to say is, do not pre-approve me for more than whatever this number per month equates to, right? So let's just say your budget per month is $3,000. You're going to say to that mortgage broker or that lender, I do not want to spend more than $3,000 per month on a mortgage, which is also going to include, again, your taxes and your insurance, all right? That's going to be one lump sum number. So that number per month. Do not get pre-approved for more than what you're willing to spend per month, because you do not want to get in a situation where you're house poor, right? We have lives to live. We want to travel. We want to go on vacation. We want to do other things like eating out and having a life, right? So if you get in a situation where you're house poor and you can't do anything else except stay home and enjoy your house. Now listen, if you're that kind of person that doesn't want to do anything extra and you just want to stay home all the time, that's absolutely your prerogative, right? And that's up to you to decide. But the most important thing is to decide what monthly note you want to spend per month, and don't get pre-approved for more than that. Once you know what that number is, so let's just say you are pre-approved for $250,000, you're going to then say to your realtor, I am pre-approved for $250,000. That's the max I want to spend. Your realtor will then be able to take you house hunting in your budget area. So let's just say there's a house on the market that's been sitting for maybe 5 or 6 or 7 months and is listed for $275,000. A good realtor should be able to negotiate that price down for you, right? If something's been sitting on the market for a while, you have buying power as a buyer. And so what's most important is that when you're choosing your real estate agent, you say to them, are you great at negotiating? As a buyer, you want a real estate agent on your team who loves to negotiate. And so when you're choosing the realtor that you want to take you house hunting, you should ask that question. And if they hesitate, or if they say, no, I really don't like negotiating, I really don't like drama, listen, run. You need a realtor on your side as a buyer who loves to negotiate for you for the best price humanly possible. That's their job, all right? So as a buyer, number one thing to do is align yourself with a real estate agent in your area who loves to show houses and who's going to work their ass off for you to get you the price you need. Get you pre-approved so that you know your budget. Have your pre-approval letter ready to go, so the minute something hits the market that is in your budget, you have an absolute advantage over anyone else who's just been sitting around and who has not done the legwork. If something hits the market today, and listen, I get calls literally every day to go list places. I never know when I'm getting the next call. I just left the listing appointment just now. I have another one scheduled at the end of the week, and I have another one scheduled at the beginning of next week. I never know when the next call is coming. So what's going to hit the market? Who knows? But if you are pre-approved and you know your budget, you are ready to go the minute it hits the market, and you have a huge advantage over anyone else. Listen, remember this, in real estate, there are no stupid questions. Ask all your questions. It's the only way you're going to learn, especially if you're a buyer and you've never purchased a home before. Ask all your questions and align yourself with a real estate agent who is not going to mind answering all your questions, all right? A huge misconception about me is that I'm too busy to work with you. That is absolutely not the truth. I am busy, I love being busy, and I'm always open to working with new buyers and sellers. So if you have questions, if you are ready to start house hunting, give me a call. I'd love to work with you. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Take care.